Alright guys, so I have a C4 Corvette, 1993 coupe, and none of my reverse lights are working, so I've been trying to figure that out. That one doesn't work, that one doesn't work. I pulled this one off. These are pretty easy to pull off. Just pull the license plate, bolt right here, and then there's two tabs right here that it fits into. You just pull it out to the left, and then you can snake it out from around the back here and pull it off like I got right here. And then you can pull the pigtail off the back. You just gotta twist it and pull it out. And then you have this. So this bulb comes out. You just twist it counterclockwise, pull it out. And I don't know if you could see, but this bulb, the filament on it is fine. So I'm thinking that it's the transmission reverse light switch up under the car. And just to test, I got this continuity tester, set it to continuity. Grounded on the side of the casing. So I know the bulb is good. And I honestly don't know if I'm using this thing right, but I wanted to test the pigtail right here, right in there, that contact. So I just set it to voltage, put it at 2. I grounded one of these and stuck the other one in there, and I got no reading. So I'm assuming that the bulb's fine and I'm just not getting power to this. So that's why I think that it's gonna be the transmission switch under the car. Before I do any of that, you wanna pull these fuses right here. There's a bank right here, and there's a bank connected to the ECM right here. I already pulled this, pulled that. I looked at all the fuses, they're good. So just make sure you check that first. It's never that easy. Another thing I wanted to mention, yeah, check the fuses on the cabin, inside the cabin on the passenger side too. Make sure the backup bulbs are working. All right, so we're up under the car. This is on the driver's side of the transmission. Here's this clutch slave cylinder thing right here. I'm not sure what that is, but that's gonna be right there, the switch for the reverse. That senses when the transmission's in reverse. All right, so bear with me here. I'm gonna try to get this pigtail off. All right, so I got that pigtail off. We're gonna see if we can try to get some type of reading out of it to see if it's working. I finally was able to get that switch out. Kind of put a hole in my finger, but what I did, you needed kind of an offset wrench. And so I had this 7/8 wrench right here. And I had to grind it down to try to get that profile right there, if you see it. And this allowed me to get that over the sensor. So I was having trouble keeping the offset to stay on to the fitting. So as you can see, I'm pulling the pry bar to keep the offset on to the fitting, and then I broke the fitting loose. And right now it's already broken loose. I did it off camera, but this is what worked for me, because the wrench, it kept popping off and it was really frustrating, even with making all that new clearance on the wrench. So try that out. All right, so I got the old part here. I got the new part, came in from Zip Corvette. Looks a little bit different, but I think it's gonna work. These connectors seem to match, I guess, besides these tabs, but anyway. So you see, if I jump these prongs here on the old sensor switch, and then I push the ball down into the table, you can see on the top right, I'm getting a reading and I'm set to continuity, but no sound. Now, if I get the new one, now I got the prongs in there, push the ball down, I get a ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this sensor switch is gonna work for us. So while I was under here, I also noticed my ground strap completely just sheared in half somehow. The other piece is up in there, so that might have been the source of the problem, but we're gonna replace that and before we do anything else for sure. With this new connector, it has this pigtail on it right here that kind of extends off of the switch up there. So what I had to do was get that started. I had to get the switch started, which was not easy. So I kind of took the switch and routed it up and around here so the pigtail would be hanging through here, and then I was somehow able to get it started. And then what I did is I took the pigtail, okay, well the wrench is gone now, but, so the wrench is back. So yeah, I walked it over the pigtail, up around the switch, and now I'm kind of able to just barely finagle it on there and tighten it up. So I'll let you know when I get that done. Probably gonna take an hour. So after placing the switch, we're gonna see if this actually works. I got the key on flipped right now. Start into reverse. And just to make sure that our switch is working, I have it installed. Car's in reverse. I have my multimeter set to continuity again. So probing one lead in there. So the switch is working. I just have a feeling it might be that connector because it looks a little torched for whatever reason. I don't know if you can see that. The top side of that looks a little burnt. So I guess that might be the next thing I do. Don't ask me how I did it, but I did it. Have the new switch in there, connected it. Now let's test it out. So we're in neutral. Let's throw the key in. Oh, by the way, right there on the fuse box over here, I did somewhere along in the process blow a fuse. There's a 15 amp fuse for the backup switch, and that was blown. So I replaced it. Thankfully, when I hooked everything back up, it didn't break again, so we're good. So let's throw it in reverse. Victory.